My name is Matt Beausoleil, and although I'm not a classically trained chef, my passion for cooking and refined palate have earned me great respect in the culinary industry. Join me and many amazing people who call the Outaouais their home as we prep, cook, and bake at the beautiful Alpina Lodge located at the renowned Le Nordique Spa in Chelsea, Quebec. From community members to chefs, we will highlight the cultural diversity and incredible food scene that the Outaouais has to offer. I myself chose to call the Outaouais home, and it is because of the wonderful people that you will meet that we can truly enjoy our region. This is Cooking Adventures Outaouais. Hello and welcome to a very special episode in beautiful Clarendon, Quebec. I'm very excited to share the story of the Judd family. Today's guest is the food and beverage manager of Little Red Wagon Winery. She is the daughter of Scott and Jen Judd, and she is also the future owner of a beautiful bed and breakfast in Shawville, Quebec. Please join me in welcoming my guest, Emma Judd.
Thank you, Matt, for coming to the winery. It's a pleasure to show off the area.
You know, I've heard about the winery in the past, and it's super exciting to be here today. I've also heard a story about you, and you have a great passion in the kitchen and cooking, and you've always had that passion. Being a member of the Judd family and living here, you've had the opportunity to explore a bit of the culinary scene. What has been some of your biggest inspirations for food?
I did 3 years working at a local resort, and that's kind of where I thought of it more of a career.
Okay.
So I really loved serving food in like bigger quantities than cooking at home is a lot different than cooking for other people.
Absolutely.
So even though I always loved cooking for my family, it was a new eye-opener. And then really just the area, and I love bringing in new flavors that a lot of people don't see here. Like it's very meat and potatoes region, and I love that about a lot of dishes.
Who doesn't love meat and potatoes?
Absolutely. Sometimes I want to switch it up though, and it's fun to see how I can introduce that to the area without freaking some people out.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's definitely, depending on the region, sometimes it's very meat and potatoes, and incorporating even like blue cheese sometimes could be a little like, off-putting to some. So, you also have a passion for business, which probably trickled down from your parents who are very active. You also went to West Island, I believe, to study?
Yep, so I went to St. Anne de Bellevue. I went to John Abbott College to study business administration. And I went into that because I am a pretty creative person and I can come up with ideas and see where there's like a gap in the region, but I wasn't sure about learning all the accounting and such like that by myself, and like the technical stuff that's a little more difficult, so I went there.
So that's good, So you followed, your business dream, and now you're working on your food dream. But you did choose to come back here. So what made you come back to the region?
Montreal was great, but it wasn't home.
Right.
And I mean, just knowing that like you're never going to have that sense of community that you have in Shawville.
Absolutely.
And you have in the Pontiac, and it's just very like everybody knows everybody, and even if I don't know somebody, they know me, and it's you don't get that anywhere else.
Definitely more welcoming, right?
Yeah.
So tell me a couple things that you think make the Outaouais region something that's very special.
I'm still discovering it all the time.
Yeah,
which is
true.
Super fun. Is that I've had such a limited view of the area, and then we're moving on to like I've never seen areas of it before, and it just goes on forever, and I'm excited to see more about that.
So you're currently working on a little project with your new bed and breakfast. That's very exciting. It's going to give you the opportunity to cook for people and host people. When can we think about seeing that project maybe come to light?
I'm not quite sure. It's a pretty big project. It wasn't lived in for about 10 years, the house I'm renovating for this. So we'll see if things go well. I'm hoping 1.5 years, 2 years.
Perfect. Nice. I'm really excited to see what we're going to be making today, so let's hop into the ingredients.
Great.
All right, so you've come up with many recipes here. You've come up with all the recipes, I think, right?
Yes, I've pulled from different areas and put my own spin on them. So.
Right. I mean, that's what recipe creation really entails, right? We inspire ourselves and then we work towards something that's our own. So what about you? You have some feature nights and sometimes and musicians.
So
and
we
different
do
types of-
concerts,
Right.
which is really fun. And so I switch it up and people just give us their money and then they show up and often they don't know what they're walking into.
Nice.
So I get any, severe allergies beforehand. Make sure those aren't on the list, but
Blind tasting menu kind of idea, right?
yeah, so they
nice.
pick an option and then I've done everything from Irish inspired dinners to I'll do fajita night or something like that. We've done trivia nights too, which are really fun and people can really relax, which is nice.
Cool. I think that the fun part about what you're doing here is that you have kind of free reign to kind of do what you want, right? You're not a French restaurant that serves French food, is that you can actually explore and do different types of cuisine.
Yeah, I like that I can switch it up all the time and that people don't really have an expectation of having that we're always going to have steak or always going to have a burger. Like it's something different every night.
Absolutely. Well, steak and red wine is my favorite. If you had it all the time, I might be out here a little more often, but that's just me. So we're going to make flatbread today.
Yes. Yeah.
What kind of flatbread are we making?
So we're doing a bacon blue cheese flatbread with some caramelized onions, some green apples, and some rosemary, which is just a really fun combination. We love it so much.
Yeah. Blue cheese is delicious, and so is bacon, right? So let's be honest, it's going to be delicious.
Melted cheese.
So let's take a quick look at the ingredients and how you've prepared them. Okay, so go ahead.
So we
start with the bacon.
Sure. So we'd love to use some local bacon, but we just grab this off of the grocery store shelf.
Right.
And I mean, it's
and you can, right?
simple,
I mean, the reality is that we don't always have access to local producers.
Yep.
So if you don't, you can, use a store-bought. You're still supporting a local store. So we've got the bacon, caramelized onions.
Yep. So I just I did a mix of red and white onions. I did a little oil in the pan, and then it's just a really slow cook of the onions. You can cheat a little bit, and I put in salt and sugar, just a sprinkle.
Perfect.
Works
perfect combination.
super well.
Sweet and salty.
Yeah.
And then we've got some Danish blue cheese.
Yep.
Perfect. And yeast.
Yep.
Salt.
Sugar.
That's not a mistake you want to make.
No.
And then we've got some stretchy pizza style cheese, right?
Yep.
And we've got flour.
Yes.
Which is
all
the
purpose.
base for our
You can get fancy, but
there you go. But there's
keep it simple.
lots of opportunities. All right. I mean, let's get cooking.
Sounds good. So we're gonna start with the dough. So we do a flatbread dough here in-house.
Right.
It's super easy too to grab an alternative at the grocery store, but it's fun to do it yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're starting with 5 cups of flour.
Perfect.
And I'm gonna make a little well in it.
Right. So this is just
pour.
all-purpose flour.
Yep. So I'm just making a well in the flour so that I don't have to get another dish dirty.
Exactly.
For my water and my yeast, just because I'm gonna activate it a little bit.
Perfect.
You can, or you don't have to, but I like it better.
Perfect. So you're gonna add in the water?
Yep. So I have 2.5 cups of lukewarm water here.
Perfect.
Now we're just gonna add 3 teaspoons of sugar and 5 teaspoons of yeast.
Okay, perfect. All right. So we're just using white granulated sugar.
Yep.
Some yeast. Perfect. 3 teaspoons, and then 5 teaspoons of yeast. And then we're gonna let that bloom, right?
Yep.
All right. How long will we let that bloom for?
Just a couple minutes. Just give it a little stir.
All right. We'll let that bloom, and then we'll come back and mix that all together. All right. So the yeast has bloomed.
Yes, it has.
We're good to go. All right. What are the next steps?
So we're gonna add some salt. You just don't want to do that right away because it can kill the yeast.
That's right.
And some oil. So if you could grab the oil for me.
Perfect.
I'll grab the salt.
All right. So how much salt are we gonna add
Doing
today?
3 teaspoons of salt.
3 teaspoons again?
Yep.
Okay. Perfect. And for the oil,
I'm doing 2.5 tablespoons.
Right.
of oil.
Okay. I think it's important that we repeat that, you know, we shouldn't add the salt before because it will kill the yeast.
Yes, for
so
sure.
we need to add it after it's bloomed. And we're using extra virgin olive oil.
Yes, we are.
Perfect. Great flavor. I love extra virgin olive oil. I remember as a kid, I used to think extra virgin olive oil tasted too much like olives, but now I appreciate it more than anything. All right, so now we're going to mix that up.
I'm just going to mix it together until it's pretty combined, and then I'll get in there with my hands.
All right. So if you had to pick one recipe that you really liked when you were growing up, whether it would be baking or anything like that, what is one of your favorite recipes that you used to make or eat?
I mean, it's always fun whenever you don't have to cook. So
sometimes it's fun,
anything
right?
my mom makes is really good. And then we love doing fajita night too, which is really fun. Just as a family, everybody loves it. So.
What's your favorite thing that your dad makes?
He can barbecue sometimes.
He makes great milk.
He does, yeah.
He's a fourth generation dairy farmer.
He is.
So, but your mom likes to cook as well, obviously.
Yes, yeah.
She makes some delicious recipes.
Yeah, we were really lucky to grow up having home cooked meals all the time.
Yeah, that's definitely something that's special.
Yes.
So what dish did your mom make that you always think about and say, oh my God, I want to have that again?
Lasagna, usually. It's a classic.
Yeah, I mean, cheese
takes a bit of time. Don't get it all the time, so.
Absolutely. So where are we at with the dough?
So it's all come together. So I can just, would you mind dumping a little bit of oil on there?
Sure.
You don't have to, but it sticks to the sides of the bowl and it's just easier for cleanup. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And then we can just cover that and let it rise.
So how long are we gonna let that rise?
About an hour.
About an hour, and then we'll come back and then we'll shape the flatbreads.
Yes, we will.
All right, let's do that.
Sounds good.
Look at that dough. Has it ever risen? Perfect.
For sure.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So what is the next step?
So we're ready to punch it down and divide it into pieces of flatbread.
Perfect. All right. I'll let you lead. I'll give you a hand though after.
Sure.
So now we're kind of trying to remove some of the air, right?
Yes. Yeah. They are flatbreads.
Ha ha ha. Good. That's true. All right. So here, let me put a little bit of flour down for you here. I don't want you to make that stick on the counter.
No, thanks. And we can be done with this bowl. We don't need it anymore.
All right. So put that aside.
So because this could be like a whole pizza, but
Okay.
but we can divide it up because flatbreads are sometimes just more fun.
Yeah, for sure. So how many flatbreads could we make from that recipe?
Depending on the size of the flatbread you want, you can do like 3 to 5 usually is what I would say. So
nice. Okay. So now we're just gonna portion that out.
Yep.
And great. So I mean, you kind of now lived in a winery, and not many people get to do that.
No. Yeah.
Which one of your wines is the favorite?
I prefer the rosé.
Ah.
And then my second choice is the white. I'm not quite there on the red yet, but.
Huh. Well, I'm excited to try them a little later on.
All right, so our flatbreads are all rolled out.
Yep.
So I like to actually do these on the barbecue in the summer. I find they're really fun, but it's not the summer. So we're gonna do it on the stove top because it's really quick.
Perfect. And you know what? Quick is good when it comes to breads like this, because people are often intimidated by bread and they think it takes a really long time. So let's move over to the stove.
So here are our bacon blue cheese flatbreads.
Smells delicious.
Everything's all melted and lovely, so we can have a go at it.
All right, let's do that. I like the blue cheese a lot, and you get that smell, and obviously you smell the bacon. It's, you know, I think it's really important to reiterate that, you know, the bacon was cooked beforehand, because if you were to put raw bacon on here, it wouldn't be crispy right now. So make sure you crisp up your bacon first. If you're lucky, I'll share a piece with you.
Thank you so much.
I'm kind sometimes. Let's see. We'll just cut it in 4, because I'm hungry. If that's okay. Which piece would you like?
I'd like the piece with the full apple.
There you go. Take it.
There you go.
All right, I'll go with this one. Okay. All right. Cheers.
Cheers.
Mmm. The caramelized onions add that sweetness, you know, with the blue cheese, and the blue cheese is kind of sharp and like in your mouth, with the onions really cut that.
Yes, yeah.
And then you're getting the sour apple, right, which is adding a great contrasting flavor. The flatbread's got a great density. It's not super puffy, but it's still pretty light. And well, bacon's
pretty good.
Bacon. All right. Well, Emma, it's been a slice. Thank you very much for sharing your story. Good luck with your bed and breakfast. Thank you for sharing your culinary passion, your business stories. Thank you for sharing this recipe with us and with our viewers. So it's been an absolute pleasure. Looking forward to tasting some of the wines next time.
Thank you so much. It's been really fun. I can't wait for you to taste the wines.
Once again, a very special thanks to Emma Judd of Little Red Wagon Winery for sharing this amazing flatbread recipe with us. Don't forget that this recipe, as well as all of the recipes featured in this program, will be made available in the Cooking Adventures Outaouais Cookbook, brought to you by the Regional Association of West Quebecers. On that, be happy, be healthy, and eat well. Ciao for now. Hello and welcome to a very special episode from beautiful Clarendon, Quebec. I'm very excited to share the story of the Judd family. Today's guests are the owners of Little Red Wagon Winery. Jen is a professional artist and Scott is a 4th-generation dairy farmer. Please join me in welcoming our guests, Scott and Jen Judd.
Thanks for coming, Matt. It's great having you.
It's been a pleasure. I mean, we've met digitally before in the past, and it's a great pleasure to be here today and finally meet you guys. You guys have a great story. You guys are, you know, I think you guys are key players in our region, especially with the winery. It's something that's very special and unique, and you guys are doing a great job. So thanks a lot for that. Jen, artist, professional artistry. Tell me a little bit about that.
I kind of always wanted to be an artist, so it just progressed as I grew. I did go to school in college for art.
Nice.
But basically I paint in acrylics, watercolors, and I just paint what I know, which happens to be the Outaouais region, happens to be the animals and livestock that surround us, nature, which I love. Being outside, tending my vines, etc.
Right.
So it's a natural progression for me to get down.
I guess that vision, right? You have that vision all the time of what you want to paint because you understand.
Yeah, I'm always absorbing. I may not always be able to put the brush to the canvas, but ideas are being filed away. And
awesome. So here at Little Red Wagon, you have some art displayed.
Yes.
Is there anywhere else people can see your art?
Basically private collections. I've done.
Cool.
Really well, and people have really supported me, so
amazing.
It's hard to keep ahead with the winery and
yes, but I mean, creating wine is an art form in itself. Not everybody can make wine.
Yes, and it's certainly something that we're still students in.
That's right. You know what? If we think we know it all, we're wrong. Because no matter what we do, we always learn, right? And I think that's very important. Scott, 4th-generation dairy farmer. So you own a dairy farm production as well, right?
Yeah, my sister and I own a dairy farm, our family farm, and it's we established in 1895, so I've been here for a long time milking cows.
Wow,
and
1895.
Started with the bottling. We were bottling our own milk back then,
right?
And then changed over to milk production herd then after that. So and it's been, it's great. We have about 750 acres and
Wow.
have to feed the cows, and it's great. It's good. It's great people working for us, so frees me up with some time to help Jen with making some wine and
Not with the painting, right?
a little bit of, not with the painting. No, I don't get any. I get to carry a canvas or two. It's not bad.
Well, that still counts. You're still helping.
But we get to have a few some pretty good parties here at the winery, so it's nice to host a few of those.
That is
some nice
great.
concerts.
So how much milk do you guys produce?
So we should be producing about 9,000 liters every 2 days, so
Wow.
4,500 liters a day.
Wow, and
So
you guys
150 cows.
150 cows, and your milk is available through different.
Yeah, so all our milk goes to Ottawa or
Okay,
Gatineau,
okay, yeah.
and depending on wherever they need it, they organize where it's going to go. So we just have to concentrate on producing a quality, cold, filtered milk.
Cold milk, yes. Okay, so I'm gonna throw this one out at you guys. What are some of your favorite things about the Outaouais region?
Where do we start?
Well, I think Jen displays it in her art, right? She showcases lots of that. But besides the art and the farming, what are the things that you like to enjoy?
The community, the people.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if it's right in our own little community or if you go further afoot. People all identify with being from this region, and they want to support and help each other out, and it's just it's a really good relationship.
Good sport, yeah. No, it's great, and then it's great to see the way Pontiac's changing. A lot more smaller farms starting up, vegetable growers popping up everywhere.
Right.
Some great new lamb production, which has
Nice.
been fantastic. We never had that as a kid. It was dairy and beef.
Right,
Either one side of the 4-H club or the other. And now there's you got sheep production and a little bit of pork production.
Right.
Lots of vegetable farms and that too. So it's really opening up for opportunities. You know, which is
Absolutely.
I think so inspiring. It's great.
Right. I think the Outaouais, provides a lot of opportunities for that kind of agricultural activities, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, it's kind of chilly outside, but I say I'd like to check out the vines and check out the vineyard and see what's going on outside and talk about some grapes. So why don't we head outside?
Sounds good.
All right, let's go.
We have 5 varieties. We have the Frontenac family, so
Okay.
we've got Noir, Blanc, and Gris, as well as a Marquette. And these here are Petit Pearl, our newest red variety.
Right.
And we also have Louis Swenson.
So you guys harvest the grapes, and then you guys smash the grapes, crush the grapes. What do you do? What do you do? Squish
Crush
them.
the stem.
Yeah, exactly.
So first we have a
then
harvest
press.
party, so we invite all our friends. Everybody wants to come pick grapes.
Right.
Like anybody.
Right.
Matt, you can come pick grapes.
I will come pick grapes.
That would be fantastic.
Absolutely.
Everybody comes.
Count me in.
Jen makes on a big spread of food, and Emma, and they put together a great meal. And
Beautiful.
we have a real harvest party. Everybody bring all the grapes in, and then we take them down to our winery in the basement and press them off. And
We repeat that harvest party from anywhere every day for 2 to 4 weeks.
Wow, incredible. That sounds like quite the party.
You don't
Do I
come
get to
every
stay
day.
here too?
Not every day, Matt. Just come when you can.
All right, well, let's check out where you do the next step.
Good stuff.
Well, that was chilly, but now we're indoors. It's a little bit chilly in here too. But now we're gonna get to talk about the wine and what happens after we take it off the stems, right?
Oh, this is where the magic happens. The engine room.
The engine room. I like it.
Come down and we've got a crush pad where we'll receive all the grapes.
Right.
White and rosé, we end up pressing, crushing and stemming and
Okay.
pressing fresh.
Right.
And taking the fresh juice, letting it settle out, and then taking that and pitching the yeast, and the next day, kind of after, kind of like orange juice settles in the fridge,
Right.
Let that first settle.
Yeah, okay.
Take just the fresh juice, just the clear juice,
Right.
and start the magic with it. So it's pretty neat. there's just like champagne when it's starting to go, and the whole place smells like a candy store in here, so it's pretty.
Well, that sounds horrible.
Pretty cool.
But I mean, wine is candy, right?
Yeah, to some people, yes, it can be.
And then the red is different, right? You guys, the process is a little bit different.
Yeah, the red, we do the crushing and destemming first, but we don't press it right away. Okay. So we ferment them on the skins, whole berry. The slower the fermentation, the more it extracts color and flavor. So we try to prolong the fermentation process. So there's a lot of temperature adjustments. You're always trying to make it hotter or colder, or trying to keep it kind of at optimal temperatures during the active fermentation stage, which takes about 7 to 10 days in both varieties.
This is our Petit Blanc.
Petit Blanc.
This is Frontenac Blanc and Louis Swenson are the 2 grapes in this.
Nice. So is it the temperature or the mid-fermentation that makes it not as clear as it would be in the bottle? Both?
Both, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. As time passes, it will get clearer and clearer. But also, when we bottle our whites, we will run it through membrane filters to get out any impurities and to make it super clear.
Cheers.
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 So there's a little bit of fizziness there.
Yeah.
Why?
But why, Scott? It's a little zingier at this stage.
Still fermenting.
It's part of the process, exactly.
Yeah,
it's actively fermenting, right?
There's still some yeast in there.
Yeah.
The yeast really doesn't stop before the bottling, really.
All right. Well, Jen, Scott, it's been an absolute pleasure to visit the vineyard, hear your story. You guys clearly work hard. You love the business. From artistry to dairy production, and now first generation winemakers. It's been a pleasure to finally meet in person. Thank you for sharing all these wonderful stories. It's absolutely enlightening, and I look forward to our next glass of wine.
It was great having you, Matt.
Thanks very much for coming.
Once again, a very special thanks to Jen and Scott Judd of Little Red Wagon Winery for sharing their amazing story and wine with us today. Don't forget that all of the recipes featured in this program will be made available in the Cooking Adventures Outaouais Cookbook, brought to you by the Regional Association of West Quebecers. On that, be happy, be healthy, and eat well. Ciao for now.